Frosted window panes, candles gleaming inside, painted candy canes on the tree. Santa's on his way, he's filled his sleigh with things for you and for me. Hey friends, it's Laurie. Thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. Today I'm participating in a collab and I'm sharing my all-time favorite Christmas song. I always kick off the holiday season with my favorite, the Christmas Waltz. A quick history on the song: it was written by Sammy Cahn and Jules Stein for Frank Sinatra, who recorded it back in 1954. Frank was an amazing singer, and I actually saw him in concert way back when, but my all-time favorite version of this song is by Karen and Richard Carpenter, who featured it on their Christmas Portrait album back in 1978. Now you know my favorite holiday song. I would love for you to leave me a comment below and let me know yours. My first project is the frosted window panes that are featured in the song, and I'm starting with 6 of the 5x7 Dollar Tree frames. I removed the packaging, the back, and the glass from each of the frames. I then removed the little metal tabs that had held the glass in place. All 6 of my frames are facing right side up, and I'm attaching them together by using some painter's tape. I kept adding the tape until all my pieces were connected. When I was done, I flipped the frames over to the other side. To glue all the frames together, I bent them at the seam, and then using my hot glue gun, I just ran a bead of glue between each individual frame. To give them a little extra support, I ran a line of hot glue along each of the seams. As extra side supports, I'm using 3 of the long, heavyweight Dollar Tree skewers. I measured and cut each of them to fit the sides, and then using my hot glue gun, I attached them in place. With all my frames attached, I flipped them over and gave them a coat of white spray paint. Once my paint was dry, I flipped it over, and you'll see the back is no masterpiece, but I just didn't want to waste the spray paint on it. And now I'm going to use my E6000 to attach the glass panes back in place. I ran a bead of glue along the inside of each window. I replaced the pane of glass, and then I let it set up overnight. My projects today are part of the Christmas Song DIY Collab, hosted by Eileen from Krafty Leeny. She has an amazing channel and also hosts 2 live shows a week. I'm going to link her channel below, along with the playlist and the other talented and creative women who are participating in this collab. To add the frosty window effect, I cut 6 ovals out of paper towels. I moistened them and placed one in the center of each window pane. This was the fun part. I used some of the fake snow and I gave the window a good coat. To finish up, I removed the wet paper towels and I let the windows dry. This part of my song's frosted window panes is now complete. I wanted to make my scene a little more festive, so I'm making a swag out of 2 of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees. I removed the little round holders that came on the ends, and then I placed the two ends side by side. I wrapped them together with 2 pieces of floral wire, and then I used my hot glue gun just to kind of shore it up and ran a couple of beads of glue along the edges. When that was done, I added 1 more piece of floral wire. There's not a whole lot to these Dollar Tree trees, but I did my best and fluffed up the ends. I wanted to give it a bit of a snow-kissed look, so using my white acrylic paint and a paintbrush, I just dabbed it on here and there. While the paint was drying, I used some of my white ribbon and I made a simple bow for the center. When the paint was dry, I then hot glued it in place. I'm using Dollar Tree flowers, and to complement the ribbon, I thought I would use these pretty white and gold poinsettias. I snipped them all from the main stem, and then I hot glued them into place. I added in 2 sprigs of holly that came with the poinsettia bunch. I'm using these pretty gold Dollar Tree flowers as an accent. Once again, I removed them from the main stem and hot glued them to my swag. I'm now adding in some flocked and natural pine cones. I picked these pine cones up around my home, and I actually made some flocked ornaments and a wreath. And you know what? I will link those videos below in case you would like to check them out. Once the pine cones were all in place, I then added in this pretty gold Dollar Tree holly. Whenever I'm making a swag or a wreath, I like to see a visual balance. Whatever I place on the left, I try to mimic it on the right, and sometimes it doesn't work out perfectly, but that's the way I make mine. I just try to balance the piece. To finish up, I'm using a handful of these bright red berries. I always love the colors of red and white together, and I think these berries really bring this swag to life. I painted 3 of the Dollar Tree candles in red, white, and green to give them more of a high-end look. For my Christmas tree, I used one of the Dollar Tree tinsel trees. I taped down the extra foil and used my white acrylic paint and gave it a touch of snow. I added a Dollar Tree gold star to the top. In the song, there are painted candy canes on the tree, and of course, I couldn't find any stickers, so I actually sat down and cut each of these candy canes out. Then I glued them onto the tree. With all my projects complete, I assembled them into a pretty holiday vignette to celebrate my favorite song, the Christmas Waltz. I hope you enjoyed making these projects with me. Please be sure to say hello to Krafty Leeny and check out the amazing playlist below. Play your favorite holiday songs, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.